Repentance and Ruin, The Rise and Fall of King Manasseh. Written by Prisca J. Okatta. Narrated by Archie. Chapter 1: The Rise of Manasseh, a king from a fallen line. The throne of Judah, once a beacon of hope under the righteous reign of King Hezekiah, now found itself in the hands of a young boy, Manasseh, a king whose reign would come to symbolize a stark departure from the legacy of his father. This chapter unpacks the early life of Manasseh, the circumstances surrounding his rise to the throne, and the ominous beginning to his rule that set the stage for Judah's eventual downfall. The legacy of King Hezekiah, a beacon of reform. Hezekiah, Manasseh's father, had been one of the most righteous kings Judah had ever known. His reign marked a period of significant religious reforms that sought to restore the nation's faithfulness to the God of Israel. Hezekiah tore down the high places, those sites of idolatrous worship that had plagued the nation for centuries. He destroyed the bronze serpent that Moses had made in the wilderness, which had been turned into an object of idol worship by the people of Judah. He even organized the people to celebrate the Passover, with a national fervor that had not been seen since the time of Solomon. The impact of Hezekiah's reforms was profound. Under his leadership, Judah experienced a period of relative peace, security, and spiritual revival. Hezekiah trusted in God when faced with the Assyrian threat, and his prayer for deliverance saw God miraculously save Jerusalem from the Assyrian invasion. Hezekiah's reign, though not without challenges, was marked by faithfulness, and the kingdom seemed to be on the precipice of a new era of righteousness and prosperity. But in the last years of his life, Hezekiah faced a devastating blow. He fell seriously ill, and while he eventually recovered, the Bible tells us that he became proud, a trait that would haunt him in his final years. The prophet Isaiah had delivered a warning of God's judgment, but Hezekiah, perhaps blinded by his own accomplishments, failed to heed the warning. Instead of ensuring that his reforms were firmly entrenched, he allowed his son to inherit a nation still vulnerable to the pull of idolatry and paganism. The birth of Manasseh and the burden of succession. Manasseh, born during Hezekiah's latter years, was a child who witnessed his father's greatest victories, and yet also inherited the consequences of his final mistakes. His mother, Hephzibah, is mentioned briefly in the Bible as the queen consort of Hezekiah, but little is known about her. The lack of detailed information about Hephzibah leaves room for speculation.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?